Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jills and I had another video that I was planning on posting today, but I just didn't really feel like posting it. It just didn't really feel aligned, I guess you can say, with everything that's going on and everything that's going on in the world, you know? If you're watching this video as of when I'm posting this, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And I just felt like turning on my camera and talking from the heart and sharing how to stay grounded when things feel uncertain, or when things feel heavy or unknown, or when things feel like they're falling apart. Whether that's in your personal life or when things just feel like they're falling apart more at a world level, like at a macro level, like right now, when things are just kind of a little bit crazy. And I feel like things have been just kind of crazy in the world for the past, I don't know, maybe like even more than 3 years, 6, 7 years. I also feel like everyone has been kind of having like a weird year lately, and no one really knows what it is, but the energy has just kind of felt weird. And there's just been this feeling of like a little bit of like instability and chaotic energy. I know I feel like that in my personal life, and so many people that I know in person have shared the same thoughts, how this year just kind of feels like a little bit weird. So let's talk about how to stay grounded when things fall apart. Now, with all of that kind of uncertainty or chaotic energy, a lot of times this can bring up, you know, real raw feelings. And I think it's really important to make sure that we feel those feelings and not just stuff them down, but feel those feelings and bring them up so we can release them and let them go. When it comes to emotions and energy, when it's not expressed, it just sits in the body, and your body can still feel that, and your body and your energy can feel that heaviness. And when things feel heavy around you, it's okay to express that and let that out, whether it's through crying or journaling or talking to people or even like singing and dancing. That can be a way that we express our emotion. But I think that's so important that we allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling and let it out so that we can move forward in our life. So we're not completely bogged down by those heavy emotions that are just staying stuck in our body. And the second thing is that it is so important that you focus on what you can control. And so many times when things become a little bit crazy or uncertain in our life or even in the world at large, we want to try to fix all of these problems, fix our problems, and make it so we don't have to feel this anymore. There are some things that we can do, yes, and there are also sometimes things that we can't do. And we have to be able to identify and recognize, what do we have control over in this situation? And what do we not have control over? And to focus on all the things that you do have control over and do what you can, take the action that you can to improve things in your life and focus on those. Like, for example, when it comes to like big world events, one single person, I cannot just like fix the world, right? But there are certain very small things that I can do to maybe improve certain situations. But I'm personally unable to stop humanity from these really bad things that are happening. If it's my personal life, there are some things that I can do to improve situations, and some things that I just have to surrender with and accept what is in this moment. Always dwelling on things that you can't control is one way to make you feel really, really terrible and just powerless. When things feel uncertain or when things feel like they're falling apart, sometimes there's not these quick, amazing solutions that we can act on. Sometimes there's just not. And sometimes we have to focus on what we can do and surrender to what we can't. Now, also when things feel a little bit crazy, sometimes what we can tend to do is we drop all of our like normal basic wellness habits. Like maybe you stop going for your daily walk, or you stop drinking so much water, or eating as healthy. But the reality is that during those types of moments in your life, that's when you need those basic wellness habits the most. That is when you'll likely benefit from them the most. And that's why it's so important to keep continuing these habits and keep showing up for yourself in little ways, even when things feel crazy. Showing up for yourself on that daily walk or your workout at the gym, that is one little way that we can help ground ourselves and keep our nervous system more calm and centered. You know, when we feel like things are really unstable around us, whether that's our personal life or just our world at large, that can make our nervous system freak out and make us feel really unsafe and really trigger all of these stress hormones. But again, you can focus on what you can control and take the action that you can to improve things. But then don't forget to also focus on yourself and do the things that your body knows that it needs to feel good and to feel calm. And when it comes to uncertainty or instability in your life, it's important to be aware, right, of what is going on and getting information so that you can properly react, so that you can take whatever action is helpful in that moment, whether that's things happening in the world or just things happening in your personal life. That knowledge is useful, right? Like for example, getting your news from a reliable source. Like that's important and that's helpful because it's good to know what's going on in the world. But just because information is helpful, it doesn't mean that more is always better. Especially like when it comes to the news or something, like it's good to know what's going on, but at a certain point, all you're doing is just creating more stress and chaos in your life and in your nervous system. Information is power, right? Knowledge can be power, but too much knowledge and too much information is one way that we actually, I wouldn't say self-sabotage, but we create more and more problems. At a certain point, we know what we can do. We know what we can take action on. We know how we can help certain things, and we know what certain things that we are kind of at the mercy of. And when it comes to a point, more information is not going to help you. So to stay more calm and grounded in your body, set boundaries around information and set limits for yourself around that information. I've talked about on the past in many different videos how I don't really watch the news that much. And I always know what's going on in the world because my husband will tell me, or I'll see it on Instagram or whatever. So it's not like I really ever miss anything. But when things do happen in the world, like big things, especially like with what's happening right now, I will obviously kind of learn about it and just get more clarity around what is going on. But there comes a point where your research is just leading you into a hole of more and more suffering. And lastly, when it feels like things are falling apart, this is an amazing time to turn to your network and your connections and your loved ones and to connect with them. As human beings, we are built to be in community with one another. And when we feel like crazy things are happening in our life, we have a biological need to feel close to others and to feel supported by others in that process. And that makes us feel more calm and centered and grounded. So make time for connection with the people that you love and have gratitude for those people in your life. Even if it's just calling a friend, something as simple like that can be a buoy for us during harder times. It can kind of keep us afloat. These simple tips are how I handle moments of more stress or chaos or instability in my life. Whether it's because of things that are incredibly private and personal to you or things that are happening more at a grander scale in the world, these tips can be helpful no matter what is happening in your life. So this was a total on-the-fly video. I had no notes. I just kind of spoke from the heart, and I do hope that you got some sort of value from this video, and I will see you next week with my normal content. So I'll see you then. Bye.